Three. Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show with my celebrity co-host from the new podcast, Jessica Javens Talk, in the house beside me, rocking another episode. What's going on, baby girl?
Thank you so much for having me here again. I'm so excited to be on your episodes and your season 5. My goodness.
I
And
forgot about that. Season 5.
yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Time flies.
It does.
You was just a baby when I started.
That's right. And I'm very excited for you to be producing my new show, my season 1. So thank you so much.
Tell the viewers about the podcast and what made you decide to, because you come from corporate finance, the finance world.
Yes.
Um, I guess you got tired of the hustle and bustle of it. What led you to having your own podcast?
I had much more that needed to go on in my life. I was boxed in into something that I loved, but it was too little. I was ready for the next level in my life. So I decided to do what I love the most, which is help people to transform their lives because I helped them financially. But in order for you to be happy, finances is not the only thing, it's the whole picture of your whole life. So my podcast is about a life that you truly love, is about transformation, is about self-knowledge and tapping into every aspect of your life, just like I did on mine. And I'm loving my life now.
I think you're glowing inside out.
Yes, I am glowing and I'm helping people to glow inside out. It has to come from within.
Make sure you guys follow. It premieres this spring,
Yes.
2025. What a great year. What a great year.
Mm-hmm.
We got a great guest on the show today. He's actually been on season 1. You mentioned 5 years of running this. Season 1 was a struggle for me. And I know you basically are witness yourself. It's hard producing a show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tailored around great guests and great memorable guests.
Mm-hmm.
Today on the show, we actually have, like I said, a guy from season 1. I'm gonna tell you how I met this guy. I was working on the show, and I don't usually check my Instagram. You know, it's on, but my volume is always off. And I see this video that pops up. Look, he gonna trip in a minute. I see this video pop up, and it's cats on the toilet. And I said, now, what's this video gonna be about? So I cut the volume up, and I hear the beat. And I said, okay, this guy got a beat going, and he's reading the paper, and I get hooked. I'm not thinking about the fact he's on the toilet. I'm hip to the beat. I'm like, damn. But the whole thing made sense just off of a simple newspaper because he's reading the newspaper. And it started to, and the song was, What Do We Talk About? Or something like that. And the hook kept giving me. So I meet Yolanda and I'm like, what do we talk about? What do we talk about? What the fuck do we talk about? And I said, I got to get this guy on. And without further ado, back on the show, my man Sqoot. What's up, guy? What are we
Hey,
talking about?
man, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. You know what? You just brought some up because I was thinking like, yo, I know exactly what you're talking about. The song was actually it's called hashtag 2020 because the song was really about what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And I do like a summary of me sitting on the toilet because you know, I'm kind of I'm not gonna say I'm old school, but I'm like the whole point of doing that video the way I did was like a man getting up in the morning, reading his newspaper, sitting on the toilet,
Yeah.
and what the hell was going on? What, Kobe passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, we in recession? Oh, we got a pandemic?
Yeah.
Oh man, Megan Thee Stallion got shot in the foot.
I thought
So
that was, you know what, Sqoot? I thought that was brilliant. And I mean, it caught my attention. And I was like, this dude is creative. And I said, I just got to have him on season 1. And fortunately, we became really good friends. You actually graced us with your presence live coming in from Louisville to be on the show. You've done some remarkable things. You've always launched all your music on our platform. Um, you're truly talented. But for the viewers who don't know you, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are.
well, I am a father, a husband, retired military. Um, Also, I'm a real estate investor, a total investor, entrepreneur as all. Own a couple companies and stuff like that. So I try to keep myself busy, and the reason I do that because like I just I think it's hard to sit still. You know, I think once you sit still, I think that's when you're done living. You know, so it's like it's one thing to exist, and it's another thing to be alive. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be alive and keep living, and that's just how I do it. I do it just doing things I align myself with, which is investing, you know, family and health, you know, and God as well. So I just put all those things together, and then you got Sqoot.
Now let's talk about the music career, because you've definitely have taken the game to a whole different level. And what I like about your music, and there's no profanity, but there's always a message, and it's a powerful message. When did you realize you had the talent to do this? And this is a two-part question. You grew up in an area where gang violence through rap industry, sending young guys to prison by the influence of that. You could have easily went down that way with your music, but you took your music down a different direction to be more of an impact to the community. How did all that come about?
Well, the funny thing is, it all started in this trailer in Iraq when I was out there in Iraq back in 2006. I was a young private, and a guy was like, "Hey, man, let me record you," because I was always freestyling, and he just played a beat. So I just got the freestyle. He said, "Hey, let's do this again." I said, "Okay." So then I start coming every day. I came so much to where one time I was recording, and my commander was like, "God damn it, Smith, can you shut that shit up?" And I'm like, "Excuse my language," but and you know, those complaints became actually more of compliments, because it changed people perception of what I was doing. So once I was able to do that, you know, and get people's attention, and people liked it, and that's all people talk about now is like, "Oh, dude, I know Sqoot, man." You know, so you know that's really what motivated me. You know, especially coming from the neighborhood I come from in Chicago. Uh, it just music always been part of my thing. I've always been creative, and once I got to the military, and someone introduced me to a thing called what was it? What was the program he used? I think it was what was it? I forgot what it was. Garage Band. He introduced me to Garage Band, and I just started just recording and just going ham, and that's where I'm at today now with it. It's just I just don't stop. I just keep going. I can flow about anything and everything. You give me a topic, I can do it. I can watch you freestyle. I can do whatever.
Wow.
You want him to do something?
Yeah, I
Oh,
wanna have the experience.
uh, oh wow.
We do that. We do that towards the end. We
All right.
do a freestyle
Give me
towards the
some
end.
time.
So you
All
you
right.
you grew up in Chicago. We know about the Caprini Greens of Chicago. We know
Yeah.
the struggles. What part of Chicago did you grow up on? And what was it like for you growing up? What was your family like?
Uh, I grew up on the South Side, which is Gresham Chatham area,
Okay.
but my high school was on the other side of town on the east side. So I literally had to travel through multiple gang territories just to get to school. And like it's funny because back in the day, you had to check in with somebody like, "Hey, I'm coming through. I'm going to school." And the person that lived in the neighborhood be like, "All right, you good, bro? You good?" Now I don't know how it is now, but I know that's how it was back then. And as far as my family goes, my dad, he was there, but really not much there. My mom, she was a crackhead, but I stayed with my auntie. So like, me and my sister stayed with our auntie, and she pretty much was just, she just, really, was very, implemented when it came to, church and stuff like that. So, but, yeah, I mean, that was my family, and that's where it all started as far as, the area I grew up in, Chicago. Yeah.
When did you wind up moving to Louisville?
I moved out there in 2019.
Okay.
Believe it,
Go to Louisville from
I,
Chicago
yeah,
military.
from Chicago. Yeah, I traveled from Chicago because I retired out the army in 2015, and then a couple years I'm just sitting at home not doing anything. I say, man, I need to be doing something. So I tried to find a mentor in real estate, and the guy in Chicago was about to charge like I think 10 to 30 grand just to teach me.
Wow.
Wow.
So I ended up driving to Louisville because my sister stayed in E Town. She's also in the military. She's still in right now.
E-Town is what? Is that Elizabeth?
Yeah, Elizabethtown in
Okay.
Kentucky. Yep. So I was driving there, the funny thing is, I saw this little shotgun houses. I'm like, who the hell lives in those? And how much? I wonder how much they go for. So it just caught my interest. And then like I Googled, real estate investors associations in Louisville, Kentucky, and they had a meeting like I think that next Tuesday. So I told my sister like, hey, I'm gonna stay here for a couple of days. And I went to the meeting. I met a guy. He became my mentor, and he didn't want man, he didn't know me at all. And I told him, I was like, look, I don't know anything about real estate. Like, can you teach me? And he literally taught me. Not everything he knows, but enough to get me started pretty. When from there I went and I just went crazy with it.
What was
So
what was the most impactful part of that mentoring that you didn't know that now all people should at least know about to help them with their real estate journey?
one of the key things I picked up was be quiet and let the expert speak. Um, take notes. So I didn't have a notebook on me, but I recorded the conversation.
Mhm.
And I still listen to that recording every day when I wake up, just because it was a lot of key things in that drive that we was doing. So it's like, it's like I be quiet. He always said have leverage. It's nothing, is real estate is nothing but leverage. Just like business, it's all about leverage.
Uh-huh.
Either you're gonna leverage your credit or you have cash. But
Uh-huh.
the biggest thing you gotta have is relationships.
Right.
So, one thing something I learned years ago is my reputation and not burning bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I stand on. I don't burn bridges with anybody. The only time I burn bridges with somebody if they did something really bad and I have to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, I'm really big at my reputation being solid. I stand on what I say. My wife would tell you. She said the reason I married you because when you say you go do something, you do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get that because a lot of times I'm looking for the next thing, and she'd be like, "Dorrell, man, you came out here in 2019 and you said you're gonna do this, and you done that already. Stop beating yourself up." And that's just something I have. But that's one thing is just just being trainable and being coachable. Really, that's the biggest thing, and something I picked up.
I love that he said about a good name. That is something that is in my core too. The reputation that you have. It takes a long time for you to build that, and it takes very little for you to destroy it. And my mom always said that the name that you have is the most important thing, and that's key for you to be a successful in real estate and having those financial friends and relationships.
What else did your mom say? Because you come from heritage, Brazilian, a little bit of Italian, and what else I say? School, a little bit of. We just found out Russian,
You
No,
said
German
German.
and French.
What else did your mom share with you? Wisdom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, a lot. One thing that she taught me is not to show my teeth to men. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's why she's not smiling. That's why she's not smiling. School. What's the purpose of that?
So you're being discreet as a woman, and you're not just, being a girl that's calling attention of men.
Okay, good to know. Mama's always right. So, Scoop, when you left, let's talk about your music career.
okay.
When did you when did you realize that your music career was taking off? Because it's hard um to get in the field. Everybody's a rapper, pretty much, and you have to have something unique. What made you unique? That's the first part of the question. With your style, how difficult was it for you to learn and really master the game? Because you went from uh, the war, singing, real estate, but your true passion was really the entertainment. How hard was that for you to navigate that water?
Man, it took years. Like I remember when the first was in 2012. I met Lil Durk, and I know he's in jail right now. So I met Lil Durk. I was doing a little co-writing, and I was working with this guy named Paris Bueller, which is he was half of Young Chop and Chief Keef and them. So like I was around those guys when I came home to Chicago in 2012 when I went from being active duty to being part time. And I really didn't know what I was part of. I just it was there. But it took me a lot longer to really understand because when I met them, I was just really getting started trying to understand how does this work, trying to find my own sound. And I didn't want to sound like anybody else. I just wanted to be me, you know. And it took a while for me to actually grasp that because, you know, as an artist, we all are influenced by somebody. Me, it was Tupac, 50, Jay-Z, you know, it's a list of them, right? So for a long time, I was sounding like them. And then I had to, you know, take a step back and really just say, okay, where is Sqoot? You know, let's get in tune with who I am. And it took a while. And I think once I start just making music and just putting it out, a manager reached out to me and he started managing me in 2018. And then I ended up meeting Jazzo, which is Jay-Z's mentor. And Jazzo took me on tour with him, Eric B, and Rakim
Wow.
in 2019. So like when I went on tour, I was happy. I was definitely grateful, you know. And then the funny thing is, like, I didn't get paid for it. You know, I was literally driving Jazzo. I was his manager. I was his tour manager. I was literally just working for free, but he covered all my stuff, and I was cool with that because of the experience.
Oh
Right.
And
yeah.
and the one thing he kept telling me, he was like, you know what, Scoop? He said if all I did was music, man, I live in a forest somewhere.
Mm.
You know, I live in in a jungle or something like that. So I laughed, but I understood what he was saying because, you know, you gotta be multifaceted. You gotta have different angles and different. Your portfolio got to be expanded pretty much. You can't just do music. You want to do other things as well. And you know, for the most part, he was just known as Jay-Z's mentor, but he became my mentor as well.
Right.
So once you know we built that rapport, we actually got a couple songs together. I haven't even released it yet because the timing has to be right for it, you know. And then I got to get his information as far as, you know, his publishing and all that stuff. And that dude, this man took literally like a year and a half to do a song. Like I did my verse, sent him the hook. Like during the pandemic, that's when he did it. Like right at the end of it. So, but yeah, it was that part. It's like it took a while, it took some years. It wasn't it wasn't easy. It was simple, but it was just more of just putting myself in the right predicament with the right people where I built the relationships with them to where I ended up meeting 50 Cent's DJ, and I was on Shade 45 and this is 50.com, you know, this is 50 on, you know, on the internet with 50 Cent and stuff like that. So like everything started opening up to where things just start happening for me, you know. And it wasn't just because I was like great at what I did. No, it just I kept myself out there. I was in people's faces. You know, I wasn't thirsty, but I was hungry enough to be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna listen, and if I need something, I need to ask a question, I'm gonna ask it, and I'm gonna be direct and honest about it.
Mhm.
And that's how I go about life. Like I don't never come as like I'm the expert. No, I'm always trying to learn something. Teach me. You know, I'm a student. You know, I'm coachable. Coach me.
What do you
So
think the biggest downfall for young artists is based on your experience in your life? What do you think some of the handicaps that they run into by not using the techniques that you use? I'm 100% with that. You know, building bridges. I don't burn bridges. I only burn a bridge if it's going to affect me and my family's
mhm,
ability to move forward. Other than that, I'm gonna be your friend. I may not agree with everything you say because
mhm.
there's value in everybody.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
But I 100% agree with that. That you have to have communication. I don't think you can move in any business without building relationships in the art of communication. With that said, what do you think some of the Achilles heels of young artists is today?
well, I would say the first one is understanding that the music business is a business. And whatever life you were living before, you got to leave that in the past. Like, because if you look at what's going on, if you know, I'm just using it as an example. You look at Lil Durk.
Yeah.
The guy had multi-platinum records, billions of streams, and now he's in prison. You know, so it's just that, and then you have other artists out here. You know, as an example, I'm gonna use another example. I remember back in
R. Kelly.
well, yeah, I mean that's him, and I'd say him and Diddy, both of them. They in the same boat, but Diddy might be he's done, you
Yeah.
know. And the funny thing is, it's crazy that I say Diddy. I you know, because I work with some of Diddy's people. Like I've been working with the track masters out of New York and Brooklyn. The
Right.
guy did all the Biggie stuff. They work with Michael Jackson, so it's like I have these relationships with these guys, and the biggest thing they say is one, don't be big headed. Two, whatever you were before, if it wasn't positive, leave that at the door, man. Get rid of it. And that's something that I had to always make sure I did everywhere I went. I never, like I said, I never come in as an expert. I never come in as someone that's arrogant or that I couldn't get rid of a bad habit, because you got to break those habits.
Mhm.
And also you got to understand that, again, it's a business. So, like you, a business owner, you have this platform. You're not going to do anything that's going to mess that up for you. You're not gonna mess up the bag, and you have dreams. You a dream just like we all are. You got to have dreams. And I'm pretty sure every morning when you go to work or you work on your podcast or any projects you work on, you check your ego at the door and said, okay, this is where I want to go. This is where I'm at. How do I get there? And you take your daily steps every day, but you leave whatever bad habits, you leave that at the door. You're like, okay, this ain't working, so I got to change this up a little bit. And
And it's
that's
funny,
really
yeah, it's funny you said that because I clearly do that every day I walk through the door. I'm like, okay, what pissed me off yesterday? What did I not do? Let me leave it at the door and let's start fresh.
Mhm.
yep.
Start fresh. That's always remember the end game. And the end game to me is endless. And the reason why I say it's endless, because I see way into the future. I know where I want to be, not now, not tomorrow. I want to know where I'm at. It's kind of like you, when me and you have the same thing. It's kind of like somebody says you never sleep. I'm like, I'll be sleep when I'm really gone. In
Right.
the meantime, I'm moving. And you know what? The tripped out part about the whole thing is it's not work.
It's not.
Yeah, that's a mindset of an entrepreneur. It is, because I agree with you. When I was in corporate, that's different. But as an entrepreneur, absolutely, because you're the CEO of your life. But I wanted to say something, adding to what you both were saying. It's the basic question that I ask: is this action, thought, feeling serving my dream?
Wow. Say
Mm.
that again.
Yeah.
That was powerful, Mel.
Is this thought, feeling, or action serving my dream?
Wow.
Mm.
That makes it pretty easy. If it's an addiction, probably not. So, right, then that's an easy answer. If
Mhm.
it's a grudge that you're holding, probably not. Let it go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
It'd be awesome. You talking like that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to tune in every day, subscribe, like, and follow. So let me ask you a cool question. Let me ask you a cool question. And thanks for sharing that bit of information. And the reason I said it because now that we have the I Am Beast radio station, I'm dealing with a lot of artists that are coming to me. And it's funny, I'm not an artist like you guys, but I see the business aspect so clear. And I'm thinking, you putting all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? And they were like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're depending on stuff like Spotify and Pandora that wants you to subscribe to a thing when you should be focusing on video production. You should be focusing on television. You should be focusing on the stuff that still is around and work, which is radio play,
Yep.
where people can hear your, not just radio play in your city, because there's a difference. Radio play in your city means the people in your city only knows your shit. You
Yep.
got to get global. You need to go to global platforms where you can have what you call building a portfolio.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're content with, well, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Pandora, I'm on YouTube. I said, and help me understand how that's building your profile, because I don't know nobody that's clicking to get a subscription to Spotify. That's why Spotify is teamed up with Disney to try to get at least a nickel. A million nickels can add up to a lot of money, but nobody's click and play because you still got to tell them where you're at. You got to have central locations or have people to put you that have the ability to amplify your name and your product. Does that make sense?
Yep. It sure does.
That's lack of information.
Yeah.
It is. That's why they're making that decision. But having that mindset, that vision, that's key, and knowing your dream. So that's where your visionaries are.
Now, I'm going to ask you my powerful question. Made men.
Hmm.
What do we talk about? 2020.
Yep.
Hell, we got all your shit on I Am Beast radio station shit. I like them all. Which one do you like the best? Give me 3 songs you like the best and why.
You know what? When I did I like Made Men.
I do too. I don't know why that was on my mind too. I like that one.
Made Men, and the reason I like it so much because like if you think about it, what do we talk about is literally an interlude. It's like an intro to Made Men.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, what do we talk about in 2020? And then I go from you talk about it, want to be about it, better recognize some of Made Men. Talk is cheap, don't think it's sweet. Pull up, homie, what you say, man. Got your chick and her chick. Like so it's like for me, Made Man is like my personal favorite because I know where I was coming from there. And I knew I was gonna pop my shit a little bit on there. And the reason why, because everything I was saying, I'm actually doing.
Right.
It's never with me. I can't do fake stuff. I can't do the fake stuff, man. I just can't do it. It's like it's just not who I am. Like I can refer from, you know, man, it's a lot. I can literally the funny thing about that is that when I made Man, I was going back to some of my military stuff and how it still affects me today as far as in the business world.
Mhm.
Because, I don't have a drill sergeant yelling at me every day. I gotta be my own drill sergeant.
Right.
I gotta walk to the tune of my own drums too. So hey, like you say, being an entrepreneur, like you say, I can't sleep like that.
Right.
So Made Man was really about that. Like, yo, if you say you this, be this.
Right.
You talk about it, you better be about it. Because, like my wife say, the only reason she with me because I am a man of action, and I've always been that way. So talk is cheap. It's always gonna be cheap because talk don't. I don't make money talking. I make money rapping, but I also make money in other avenues where I'm doing less talking.
Right.
So and that's really what it's about. It's just about action, man. Just action. That's all it is. Action.
Now you're now relocated. I hate you moved so far away, man. Heck, you was only like less than 2 hours. Shit.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're way. Don't get me wrong. I love Texas, so I'm glad you're in Texas. It's a great place. A lot of opportunities there in Texas, but you're there with your wife and now a complete family. Your children are there now.
Mhm.
Um, how has the how has it changed for you? You put your music on hold for right now. You're
Mhm.
dedicating your life to your beautiful wife, and your family. You're a father now, devoted. What's that like for you now?
You know what, man? I am definitely grateful, honestly. And the reason I say that because like before she was my wife, she was one of my biggest investors.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, and when I say that is like sometimes she come to the studio with me. She was never loud, obnoxious. Like I had like the song I got with Jazzo. She played in the studio. They play it. She's like, I don't like your part. I say, why not? She said, I don't believe you. I'm like, what?
Wow,
I said, I don't believe. I say, what the fuck? I bet I'm gonna go back in there and I'm gonna do it again. I come back out. She said, okay, I like that. That's much better.
wow.
She's gonna tell me if I screw up. She's gonna hold me accountable, which a lot of people are afraid to do that. So it's like not just that, but she's actually invested money into it as well.
That's deep. When you come out of your pockets,
Yo, exactly.
yeah,
Now she's made a lot of money with my advice and stuff like that, but I don't care for that. I just look at the whole point that she actually invested in me.
yeah,
Like she invested. She was like, I say, yeah, I need this done. And she say, I'll give it to you. I'm like, really? And I wasn't asking. She's like, I got you.
yeah,
Because she saw the fruits of it already. She saw what I was already doing.
right.
And the funny thing about that is that when she did that, I made sure she gets 10% of whatever I do as far as with that deal.
Mhm.
And I think that 10% is multiplied to even more because now she's got way more than what she invested.
Right, right.
So like with how we doing things with the family and how it affects me taking a break, like really like she helped, like just her little 3% or 10%, whatever, like that helps a lot because she brings something to the table that I can't bring at all.
Right.
Like I'm the strong tough guy, whatever. She's the soft common sense. She likes to cook. I love that. She loves to clean. She say I'm her baby. I'm like, hell, I'll be your baby all day. So hey, I mean, I'm spoiled, man. Like and the funny thing about it is, if I was to go back and do music, she wouldn't care. She'd just be like, all right, go ahead. I don't care.
Right.
My goal with her right now is really retire her as soon as possible.
Right.
You know, so my goal is to make sure she retires. I take care of my son and my daughter, make sure that they're good. I set them up with trust funds and stuff like that, and bank accounts, and teach them how to invest. Teach them like the key things to invest, and not only just sit in the house all day playing a video game. No, go outside and touch some grass,
Yeah.
talk to people. A conversation shouldn't just be a text message. You want to go and meet some people. I know all my neighbors over here.
Yeah.
So it just really just getting them out of that whole pandemic mindset to where everybody was separated. It was more fear based and all that. You couldn't get near no one. And now it's like, dude, no, go outside, touch some grass.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Just say, hey, my name is so and so, and hi, I'm your neighbor. Do something like that, because you're not going to get anywhere just staying to yourself. I've never been successful doing everything by myself. Everything I've always had a team. And I had to build some trust there. And the same thing in my household. My wife, I trust my wife because we're a team.
Right.
And I tell my kids all the time, I say, look, I'm like, nothing moves without this whole team. Yeah, this is our foundation. This house is our foundation, but it has to be built with the team, though, because I couldn't just build this by myself. I had to go to the builders. I had to do the layouts.
Right.
Talk to my realtor, all that stuff.
Right.
I didn't do all this by myself.
Let
Team effort.
me ask you.
And that's life. Like I can call myself self-sufficient, but
Right.
independent, I can't really say I'm independent because I have a team.
Let me ask you a question.
What's that?
You have a son, you have a daughter. What's that like raising? And how do they look at you knowing that, you're an entertainer? You've been around the legends. You've been around Eric B., Rakim. You've been on tour. They seen your career. Our kids look at the shit that we done. Trust me.
Yeah.
What's that like? And what's it like raising the two? Like, is one difficult than the other? Because daddy's little girl is daddy's little girl. You was in the military. I know hey, who is he? Who's coming home? Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. It's parenting is never easy because you got different personalities. Yeah, part of you, they're part of their mother, and they're also themselves. So it's like they're going to take those things that you and the other person bring, but also they're going to become one as well with who they are.
Right.
So with my daughter, she's difficult. Like, she's really difficult. I love her to death, but she is so difficult. However, I still look at her like she's my baby, because that's my baby.
Right.
My son, I might not tell this to him his face, like, you my baby, but at the same time, in September he'll be 17. So it's like, hey son, you got a couple years, you got to build yourself up. I'm like, this year you got to start building yourself up. I have to be tough on him. And I punched him in the face a few times just so he can put him in check, because he had some issues. But it's like, you got to do that. You got to discipline him.
Right.
You can't just let them just run wild and think that it's whatever they want. No, you can't do that. That's not how the world works. Look at Diddy.
My gosh.
Are we back on him again?
Yeah, look at Diddy. He did what he wanted to do. You see where he's at.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, there's rules, there's regulations, but it starts at home. So like it is tough. It's not easy, but it gets easier as time go by, and you make you create new good habits pretty much with each individual. And I love them the same, but I love them different because they're separate people.
Right.
So that's how I do it.
Now, before we wrap up, happy birthday, belated birthday.
Thank you.
What did you do for your birthday? What did you do?
You know what? I'm simple. I'm really simple, man. So my wife, well, I got my feet done.
Wait a minute. Say that again. You got your what?
Got my feet done.
Okay. Hey, that's a beautiful feeling.
Dude, hey, look, me and my wife used to get our feet done all the time in Louisville. So like, dude,
Yeah.
when you told me earlier, I was like, yo, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I got my feet done. I went to the gym. What happened? Oh, Starbucks gave me a free coffee. My
Great.
wife spoiled me, of course. We went out for barbecue for dinner yesterday. I got really full.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. That's it, man. And my son, he got me something too. Like when I came in from outside, my son was like, "Hey, happy birthday, Dad." I was like, "Wait, time out. You wish me usually they forget."
Yeah.
forget about my birthday. So I was like, what? I say, my son remembers my birthday? I'm like, oh, okay. I say, man, you go watch TV now. Go ahead. Play the game, you know? It was one time. See, he's back here. So it was one time.
Oh, they will correct you.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they will. Yeah, they definitely will. But you know, I had a good time, man. Like I said, I'm real simple, man. Like I just wanted some barbecue. And my wife treated me to barbecue yesterday. I ate good, you know, and man, I just enjoyed myself.
Did you
So,
get any cheesecake? Did you get any cheesecake? Because you
bro,
eat cheesecake.
I just smashed it, bro. Right before you called. And funny because my wife made me some homemade pizza and homemade chicken wings. Like she likes to make stuff from scratch.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Man,
awesome.
you got it made, man. A beautiful family. Your wife's cooking all kind of stuff in the house.
That's
Your
great.
kids are saying happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah,
Portfolio is off the chain and you're still rapping.
man.
Life is
Exactly.
good.
It is, man. Like, bro, sometimes you know what? Sometimes I wake up and I be like, yo, coming from being a homeless kid at one point to being where I'm at now, I'm like, dude, I got it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have the billions of dollars, I'm like, yo, I got it all, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I really feel like
you got a question?
No, I'm so happy that I met him. It's been amazing and very inspiring, and I love some of the takeaways that you left all of our listeners with.
Okay, before we wrap up, Jessica asked a favor.
uh,
She wants to hear you rap. I'm gonna let you pick out whatever you want to do. Hopefully, it's made man. But I'm gonna let you pick it out. That way, she can finally hear a live entertainer. Take it away. Take it away, Sqoot.
all right. 1 second. My son wants to play the game. I tell him 1 second. I'm on a live Zoom, so I need all the Wi-Fi bandwidth I can get. Okay, let me see. Oh wow, I wasn't even prepared for this, but I'll do something. I'll try. I go into this little toolbox. All right. Hmm. Okay. 6ix9ine like Takashi. Call me 6ix9ine like she dropped me. Try to top me. Oh my gosh. I am man, it's been a while.
Did I
It's been
put you on the spot?
yeah, it's been
Did
a while.
Jessica put you on the spot?
No, she ain't put me on the spot. I'm a little rusty. That's all. I'm a little rusty. I've been enjoying life, man. And that's why we enjoy life. You be like, whoa, what?
So, so I'll let you go back to practicing. So, what's next in store for you? You coming out of retirement or what? What should we be looking forward to?
Oh, I'm definitely working on new stuff. I got some ideas and I got some projects I'm working on. Funny thing is, I got a few finished products that I finished like a while back, and I'm thinking about releasing those probably sometime, probably in the fall of this year. I just want to get some visuals done, some videos, and then work and talk to my marketing team, of course, because they out there in New York City, in Brooklyn. So that and pretty much just keep investing my money, man, and working on my household.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking time out to come on the show and keep us updated with what you were doing. And I don't see nothing but great things continuously happening to you. I'm glad to be part of your life. I'm glad we forged a great friendship. If you ever need anything, you know my door's always open. Ladies, oh, let me not forget Jessica and your new podcast. Thank you for being my host on the Andre the Beast Crayton show. Tell the viewers again, for those that are just not tuning in, a little bit about your podcast.
It's Jessica Javen's Talk, and we're going to be chatting with all of these wonderful, amazing people sharing their amazing transformation stories in every quadrant of our lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, do it with me. This has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast
Crayton.
Crayton.
Show.